Bello chat, been way too long, and I apologize. I feel like I have 10 different hobbies, and if I focus on one, then the others get neglected. Not that this is a hobby, this is a lifestyle. This is a lifestyle. So I guess I haven't been living my life. I haven't been living my truth, so I'm sorry. But I am so back. Today's episode is, like the rest, just going to be a spitball of random things I have in my notes app that I wanted to talk about. The first thing I wanted to talk about today, I was talking with my lovely friend Connor. Where are the gay rom-coms that are actually good? Or just like, you know what? Screw the rom-com. What about romantic movies? Because I feel like so many of the popular gay movies are overly criticized, probably rightfully so, for like it always has to be sad. It always has to be sad and brooding. Like, it has to be sad to be gay in a movie, and I do not understand that. And I feel we've had this pivot of making fun gay movies, but then they're not good. You know what I mean? They're just corny. And I feel like I need something that rides the line between, like, cheesy romantic movie but also good. I think of the classic The Notebook. I think that movie does it so well. I think that movie is perfection. And I know that's not a hot take. I know everybody loves The Notebook. Well, I would say it's like a 50-50. Everybody hates it or loves it. I think that movie's absolute perfection, and I need something like that for gay people. I'm sure it exists out there, and I just haven't looked too hard, because that's not necessarily my market, even though I would absolutely watch a gay film, coming of age, romance. That's the thing too, it always has to be coming of age. Like, why does it have to be coming of age? Like, I think of Call Me By Your Name, but that movie is so sad. That movie is the saddest thing I've ever seen. So, like, where are the happy romantic gay movies? I looked them up, like, modern rom-com gay movies, and like the one thing I could find was like Red, White, and Royal Blue and Loki. I haven't watched it, so I can't say too much, but it looks just cheesy as hell. That shit looks cheesy as hell, and I need something real and raw and not entirely sad. Like, can we have a happy ending in a gay movie? Is that possible? Like, can the gay people be happy in the end? Another thing that I'm sick of, and I like sports. I do have mixed opinions sometimes, especially when it comes to the realm of like men playing sports, but like as a viewer, I don't dislike sports. Like, if the game was on, I'd be sat with my dad watching it, you know? Like, I have nothing against the culture of watching a sport. But I'm kind of sick of the Super Bowl. I'm kind of sick of the fucking Super Bowl. Why is it special? Why is it super if it's every year? Like, I thought we came to learn that less is more, and if it's every year, I could give two freaking flying fricks about the Super Bowl if it's every year. And also, everybody's trading teams all the time, and I understand if you're in the lore, you're tapped in, that it's probably really interesting to see like who goes where and how that affects who's gonna win this year, and then the whole betting and everything like that. Like, I understand there is a system to it that's like a game and can be fun, but as just a casual viewer, I'm sick of the Super Bowl happening every freaking year. It's not special. Like, the Olympics have it on lock. The Olympics know what they're doing. And I also think too, the Olympics just have something so special about it because it involves the entire world, and I think there's a reflection of the world's politics and the state of being of the world at the time every 4 years, because so much happens in 4 years. Hey, the president gets elected in the US every 4 years, and I wish I could think of other things that happen in 4-year increments, but I'm an American. I know nothing about other countries, so I'm sorry. I am out of my depth in that. But and the Olympics is every sport. It's every sport. It's so much fun. It's like field day. It's like you can switch channels. It's like you're walking around at recess on field day, looking at all the things the different classes are doing. You know, that's so much more fun. It's so much more personalized. You can do whatever you want. You can watch whatever you want. The Super Bowl is like one stupid game every year, and I'm sick of it. And the commercials get worse and worse. And I also just think, too, like, commercials are so out. Commercials are so out. Nobody cares about commercials. I think everyone is so hyper-aware now of the like dystopia that commercials are, especially like drug commercials or like alcohol commercials in the US. It's a dystopia, and I think that we're all too aware of it now, and so none of it has its charm anymore. And I think too, like, American sports need to evolve. I think like some random ass sports some other countries are on, like we might hop on soon. Like I feel like the rise of pickleball in America is a great thing. I just think I'm low-key just sick of football, maybe. I'm low-key just sick of football. As someone who, again, would watch it with my dad, I am not some girl who is out of her depth in this way, who doesn't know what she's talking about. I do know what I'm talking about, and I'm sick of football. I'm sick of the Super Bowl. There's nothing super about it, and it's not even in a bowl. It's like, what's the point? It's not special in any way. So yeah, that's my rant. Also, I was at the thrift store the other day. I went to 2 different thrift stores. And why does Zombie by the Cranberries play in every thrift store I've ever been in? It's that, or they're doing a Lady Gaga or Adele, like, rerun. I don't understand why. There is, like, a certain type of, like, 90s rock that plays in thrift stores. And I don't know what channel they're tuning to, but, because it's always the radio. I hear the ads going. And it's always Zombie by the Cranberries. Or it's, like, some 80s, like the Cars, or what's that one song? I feel it coming in the air tonight. Phil Collins. It's always Phil Collins, or something, some random pop girly thrown in there, or Britney Spears sometimes. I mean, I'm not really complaining. Like, I'd rather hear that than a lot of like the local country that gets listened to on the radio here in Texas. That shit is bad. That shit, and I respect so much art. But that shit is, it is art in its own right. But not my kind. Not my kind that I want to consume. One of my beautiful, beautiful, lovely friends, Mary, she went through her parents' garage and found so many of these old notebooks her parents wrote. She found her mom's in the time when she was 20-something, I guess, when she moved to America and met her dad. And then all of her dad's journals when he was going through a really rough time in his life. And she was reading these, and she was so, I guess, amazed at how similar her parents are to her, because Mary has journaled like every day of her life. Like, she came out of the womb with a pen and a journal. She pulled out a box of journals that have been filled front to back, like a box full of them. And she's journaled like every day of her life pretty much, and I envy that. Mary, I envy you and your ability to recall how you felt in, like, on August 23rd of 2018. Like, I envy that, because I don't know how I felt that day. I could have been struggling with similar things now, and it could give me insight and all this yada yada yada. But she never really knew too well that her parents ever journaled in the way that she does. She just kind of picked it up. And that got me thinking about how beautiful of a thing that is, that even though her parents did not teach her that or show her that she fell into the same exact necessary outlet, that her life and their life is so similar in a way, in the way that they cope with things, in the way that they need to write about things is so similar, even though they didn't tell her to do that. She found her way to it, which is so special. And like, what a piece of your parents you are in that way. And it got me thinking about my parents. And it got me thinking about my grandma and all these. My favorite ever gift that I've ever been given is my mom developed all these old videos, and maybe I'll insert some, these old videos of her in the 70s when she was a little baby, that my grandmother and grandpa took of her and my Aunt Christy and everything. And then my dad, he got a camcorder that I have now, that I used, and it recorded their wedding. It recorded their, like, my sister when she was a baby, and then me when I was a baby, and my dad was on that shit. My dad recorded everything. And guess who records everything now? Guess who's a clip farmer now? Now, I knew this about my dad. I knew he had a camera and recorded everything, but it wasn't like a conscious thing when I picked up my camera. Like when I picked up my Kodak C180 Easy Share camera, I was not thinking about my dad, and I was not like, my dad filmed, let me film. But I think in the back of my mind, like in a subconscious way, having the old videos of myself is so special. There is a clip of my sister like really zoomed in on my face when we were sitting at a table when I was probably like 2 years old, and just to see my face, my like baby face in such clear quality is so interesting, because like that existed at one point, but it is so, I'm so far from that now. I'm also so interested to see how like the kids of today are going to perceive themselves as kids, because we have iPhones and we record everything now, and they're going to have literally every single moment of their life captured. But that's like another thing. That's like the other side that I talked to Mary and Gretchen about, because Gretchen has like a lot of old videos and stuff from her past when she was younger as well, and the same way Mary journaled and also has videos and stuff that I don't. I didn't journal too much when I was younger. I don't have a lot of videos from like middle school or elementary school. A lot of that's kind of lost on me now in a way that I want to. Also spilt milk, so there's that. But I want to appreciate the presentness that it gives me to not have that kind of stuff, in the way that, I mean, I wonder what it would be like if I did have all the access to all that kind of stuff, because the kids of today are going to, and that worries me, because I feel like that can often bring like this comparison to your younger self, which, I mean, youth is such a sad thing. It's a beautiful thing to be youthful, whatever, but like when you lose it, when you get old, it becomes such a sad thing for so many people, like that they can't cope very well with, and to have access to that so easily is kind of scary. I think it is very scary, and I think it's great to remember, and I'm so glad that my dad took videos and things like that, and Mary's dad journaled so they could remember and have a log of their life and their brain and their thoughts. But I think there's also a beauty in just living in the presentness and not being caught up in that, and not focusing so hard on that, so hard on the past. Because bro, you got the future. You have so much of the freaking future to live in and look forward to. And so I don't know, I think that can maybe bring an unintended consequence of a connection to the past. But then again, I'm also like, to remember the past is a beautiful thing. And the same way to remember history is to not repeat it. So I guess it could also help you. I don't even know what I'm trying to say right now, but you get the point. I started, and I'm gonna start, a little series. I started it on this channel, but I might create its own account on YouTube for it, so I'll put that in the description whenever I fix that up. But it's going to be called Rock With Me, and I'm very excited about it. I live in a place, like I've mentioned before, where there are so many musical artists. There is music in the walls everywhere here, and I really want to capture that in any way I can. I feel like for so long, when I first started getting into the scene, I recorded bands playing at places and stuff like that. But now that I know so many people, and I've befriended so many people who do make music, who are in the scene, who I used to go and just watch, I want to get them here. I want to get them, and I want to capture them in the most intimate, raw setting. I saw this account for my college where they do like Tiny Desk like performances, and they pretty much replicate the Tiny Desk format. And I was like, that's amazing to have that kind of quality for the local artists here that are just so talented. I could cry. The people in my life who I know who make music are so talented, it could move me to tears. But I won't. I'll pause on that and explain the Rock With Me concept that I want to make. Also, I made this little rock with me, and then of course my name. I was the first guest, so I put Tilt the Car on the back of it. The premise is you're going to sit in the corner of my room in a rocking chair, or the artist will, and they're going to rock while they play their songs, and then I'm going to ask them a couple questions about themselves, about their music, get kind of personal, and then they'll play some more songs, and then I want to paint a rock with them, and they're going to paint a rock, and they're going to leave it here, so it's going to add to my collection that I'll have forever, and rock with me. So that's the premise. And I asked myself some questions because I did this video for myself already. And I asked myself some questions, but I kept it kind of short for the sake of just providing an example video for people who would be interested in hopping over to my apartment and filming with me. So I guess I just wanted to like expand on the questions that I asked myself. What do you write about the most, do you think? I definitely do write the most about a person, but beyond that, I do write a lot about children, but I think children are a vessel. Children are a vessel to talk about my most vulnerable childlike self, I think, and my future, because children are always such a future thinking thing. And the way that I view children is very much just, I think, the love that I have for the world and yada yada yada. What are your favorite bands? The Strokes. I don't gotta say that twice. I don't even gotta say that once. I love The Strokes. Any bands from that era too, of the underground music scene in New York in the 2000s, Meet Me in the Bathroom era, peak. But also my dad raised me on, I would say Joy Division for a while was like one of my foundational bands that just, I mean, no words. The things that they were doing, and then their transition into New Order post Ian Curtis's death, just, they get music, they know soul. They get your soul in rock music, you know what I mean? And then the last question is, what do you think the world is missing? Love, 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 love. And I don't just mean adoration in that way. I mean understanding and nuance, because I don't think people are as nearly understanding as they think they are. Especially living in a place that's very liberal. I think it goes hand in hand with anything that's so strongly the opposite, you know, anything that's like very right-leaning can have very similar issues as people who are very left-leaning. And so I don't think you should be a fence setter. I think you should have opinions, and I think you should fight for things that you know are wrong. Like the stuff happening with ICE, that is so obviously wrong, and everyone where I live can agree with me on that, and we all get along on that, and that's that. But I think there are other things that require more nuance, or I think there are buzzwords thrown around too often that limit things and people and situations to right and wrong when that's not the case at all. It's not about right and wrong. It's about someone making a mistake and what are they willing to learn from it. And I think a lot of people I know who are very liberal don't follow that path of nuance in the same way someone who's very right-leaning, where I would come from in Frisco, Texas, who's very right-leaning would do. Like, I see similarities in their ignorance, basically. I think there is more love to be given to the world than people think they do. People are so selective with what they choose to love, and that's not what love is. Because when I think of love, I think it's unconditional. I think it's an unconditional understanding of another person. And if you don't unconditionally try to understand everything, then if you preach that you are loving and put love into the world, then you're just not doing that. You're not doing it right. Not to be all preachy. But yeah, those are my questions, and I'm going to try to like switch up the questions to each guest when I have them on. And I'm so excited for this project. My friend Naomi is going to help me. Europe Core, shout out. And I am so freaking excited. I think this thing could blow up. I also have ideas of like a night show that could be rock with me all night. Like rock with me all night. Like a play on that kind of word play. And then another one where it's like rock the world, where I could just get people I know who live far away, like so many artists that I know who live far away can record themselves doing it. And so I could get like different types of people from different places. Anyways, I'm so excited to plot on this, and after I'm done doing this, I'm probably going to start writing for that. So yeah, I'm excited. I wish you all so well. I wish you love and happiness and nuance and understanding, and bye chat.